Hello guys, Chwendu here. In today's tutorial, I'll be sharing with you guys how to pad your bustier with your hairstay and paper stay so it looks something like this. Let's get started. First of all, you can see I have my patterns on top my table. Right here, I have the center piece and the side piece of the front. I equally have the center piece and the side piece of the back. So that is what you can see me showing you on the table right now. So guys, you can see on top my table, I have my fusible interface. So you guys, what I do is this. For each bustier I'm making for a client, I usually make use of 1 yard of stay for the actual piece and then 1 yard of paper stay for the lining piece. Okay, if the client is on a small and medium size, okay, that should be enough, except your client is on a bigger size. All right, so you can see I'm trying to iron this into the wrong part of my actual fabric. Okay, so what I'm trying to iron on the wrong side of my actual fabric is the hairstay. Okay, so this means that for the actual fabric you're going to use the hairstay, and for the lining piece I'm going to make use of the tissue stay, which is the paper stay. So I'm done with the actual fabric, and right here is the lining part. Okay, so for this lining part I also went ahead to iron the paper stay on the wrong part of the lining. Actually, the lining doesn't have the wrong part. Just choose one part and then iron your interface on it. So once you are done making sure that this has glued properly well on the wrong part of your fabric, go ahead and place the two of them together. Okay, so now I'm trying to pin my paper. So I'm going to go ahead and arrange my paper in place. So the only part that is supposed to be on fold is just the center front, and now to the side of the center back I'm going to add half an inch, and then the middle of the side back I'm equally going to add half an inch for sewing the two together. Okay, because when I was cutting on fabric I didn't add this allowance. So guys, once you are done, go ahead and cut it out. So if you take a look at how I'm cutting this out, you will see why just the center front should be on fold. Okay, every other part you can go ahead and cut it out just the way I'm doing it. The only part that you're supposed to have remaining on fold is the center front. Okay, now as we cut this out, let me simply tell you the trick on how I usually know the amount of fabric that I need to place on top the table. Okay, that should be enough for my cutouts. So what I do is this: before I finally place my pattern on top my fabric, initially I'll bring the fabric I'm supposed to use for my gown or whatever it is I'm making. Okay, I'll place it on the table and then place my patterns on it. Okay, just to know the amount of fabric that I need. Okay, so with this you're not going to waste the client's fabric. So do yours like that, and you guys, you can see I am done cutting this out. I'm going to go ahead and remove the pattern paper, and then equally remove every other part including the lining piece, and leaving just the actual piece of the center front and the side front. Okay, because we need to double pad this. Now what I'll be using to double pad it is the hairstay. Okay, so if you also want to double pad the back, the lining, sorry, you can go ahead and use the paper stay to do that as well. Okay, so for each of the double padding, I'm going to be making use of 4 pieces of hairstay. So what I did was to fold into two, fold again, and then fold again. I guess you just saw how I did it. Okay, so in total I folded into 8, and now I'm going to place it just like this, and making sure that the folded part is facing the folded part of my fabric, and equally making sure that the hairstay I'm cutting out for the double pattern won't exceed the under bust point, okay? And once I'm done, I'm going to divide it just like this to have 4 pieces of hairstay. Okay, so let's count it. I have 2 right there. I have 3 and 4. Can you see? Now I'm going to repeat the same thing for the side front. So I'm going to fold. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm going to fold again, and then cut off the excess, okay, and then fold just like this, exactly the way I folded for the center front. But this time around, it's not going to be on fold, it's going to be into 8 pieces. Do you guys understand? Okay, so I'm going to cut it out following the cup shape of my side front. Okay, so you can see what I'm trying to do right there. This is actually very simple if you get it right. Okay, so just glue your eye to the screen, and you guys, you're not going to regret this. Okay, because wording is kind of very expensive right now. So if you don't want to make use of wording, you can switch to hairstay and paper stay. Okay, so I am done cutting this out. You can see the shape that I gave it. If you decide to make your own streets, that is fine. Just ensure that it doesn't exceed the under bust points. Okay, that is just the precaution you are supposed to take. Now, once I'm done with this, what I want to do is bring back the actual piece, okay, and then I'm going to give it a good press, okay. Giving your fabric a good press will help remove any form of fold around the fabric, okay. So once you are done using your steam iron or your dry iron, whichever it is that you are using, to iron the wrong part, go ahead and turn over to the right part and iron again. Okay, ensure that you iron properly well. Okay, and then you're going to have to mark out the under bust point, and then you start placing your hairstay. Now, to note this under bust point means that you are not supposed to allow your hairstay to exceed the under bust point. You can see what I am doing. So I'm going to repeatedly continue to iron the 4 pieces until it gets finished. Okay, so you can see what I am doing. And to know the wrong part of this hairstay, if you're a fashion designer or if you're a tailor, you already know the wrong part and the good part. Okay, but if you're a beginner, just feel it and you will notice this particular rough side. Okay, that is the wrong part which you're supposed to gum to the fabric. All right, and once you are done, also turn it and give it a good press again, and then cut off any excess that you have by the sides. Okay, so now that we are done with the center fronts, you're going to put that aside and we move over to the side fronts. So guys, here is the side fronts, and you know that the side front is divided into 2. Okay, so for each part of it, we are going to be gumming 4 pieces of this hairstay into it. So what I'm going to do is place one on this side, iron it, and then repeat the same thing on the other side. So just so you won't get yourself confused, so continue to do this until you finish up each of the 4 pieces. All right, so once I'm done with this, I'm going to bring in the lining piece again and my paper stay, just so you see how you can also double pad your lining piece. If you don't want to do this, it is optional. Okay, this is not a must. So for mine, I want to double pad it, but I'm just going to use just one piece. That's why you can see that I folded just once. Okay, so for the center front, I went ahead to cut out just one piece, and then for the side, I cut out 2 pieces for the 2 sides. So I'm going ahead to gum it into the side front, and then this is the center front for the lining as well. So Now I'm going to locate the underbust point and ensure that it doesn't exceed that place, and then I'm going to gum it into the lining piece. Now once I am done, I'm going to cut off the excess. Okay, so just ensure that you actually cut off the excess. And you guys, please, when you are gumming this, ensure that you don't use your iron to touch on this, okay, because this can actually make your fabric to burn. Okay, if the gum glues on the lining, please take note of that. So guys, once I am done, I'm going to head over to my sewing machine to stitch it. You can see I've arranged it how I'm going to stitch. I'm going to head over to my sewing machine and stitch this around using 1/2 inch. So guys, after we're done, you can see this is our lining piece and the actual piece. So guys, I want you to tell me in the comment section what you think about this tutorial. Is this something you would want to try? Please leave a comment in the comment section, and also share this particular tutorial so that more people can get to see it. I will see you in my next one.